Hello and greetings and welcome. Bienvenido a todos to our Global Chamber Author Series. And we are delighted to have each and every one of you that are here with us live. And every month promises to be a wealth of information that we share, tips and techniques and stories regarding the writing process, innovation, marketing, leadership. So, what is the Global Chamber Author Series? It's a program that was started by one of our incredible members well over 3 years ago, Gloria Peterson. And she wanted to bring authors together because she recognized that within our 525 metros and growing, that we had plenty of published authors, but more importantly, we had some that wanted to become authors. And so these series started 3 years ago, and I was a part of that, as well as several other members that are on now or listening in the recording. And so, what our goal is to continue with this series, engaging our members and then providing a platform and an opportunity for our authors and even those who want to become authors to do workshops and then be a part of panel discussions. So you're in the right place if you're here for the Globinar on book authors for story tips and techniques, because we are here to engage authors. And we are a vibrant community, as you can already see. I'm trying to bring my vibrancy today of writers worldwide, where we connect, share our diverse experiences, and inspire through books, workshops, collaborative projects, and leadership initiatives. And there was something that we just finished on another meeting for executive directors that really stood out, and I wanted to share that expression here. Is the lady that was presenter, Rhonda, was saying that we do a great job at Global Chamber and appreciating one another views. And so that's represented and reflected in all of our Globinars and our meetups, and you'll see it definitely here too. When do we meet? Third Wednesday of every month. Yes, the time has been 11 a.m. in the past several months, but sometimes we're going to also have some 8 p.m. because we want to capture our global community sometimes when they're also live. And we want to encourage you to put your contact information in the chat so that we can connect and engage. And who am I? Well, I am a connector by nature. If you ask anyone who is Dr. Dana Austin, well, she loves connecting people. But I also serve in various capacities that allow me to do that with greater ease. I am the Global Chamber Executive Director for Atlanta, Georgia. I also am the CEO and founder of Transformational Writers Academy. We do workshops and conferences, and we help writers to write their book in 90 days. So we're right in the middle of one of those cohorts now. We do that twice a year. I am a healthcare professional and a clinical researcher as well. Many know this, but if you don't, I'm a lover of tea, and one of my books, bestseller even, and award-winning, was on tea. And more importantly, I just love connecting people and continuing in the spirit of excellence that was founded by Gloria Peterson. So this is my efforts at putting a bookshelf behind me because the ones I have are not in this space. So I just put this one here. Okay. Now I know some of you are maybe new or first time on our Globinar. So I certainly want to share with you who we are as Global Chamber before we jump into it all. So Global Chamber, we are the first and only Global Chamber of Commerce. We're located in over 525 metros around the world. We're in 5 continents, 195 countries. You can't get any more global than that. And then what makes an organization global versus international is that global means that you have feet on the ground, presence there, and we're not just touching down and leaving. So this is what we have in our reach. And as far as our mission is to accelerate cross-border trade and investment in every region of the world. We do this by engaging top executives and leaders with warm connections and introduction. We do that in a timely fashion. And our vision is really to be able to do business and grow across region as easy as selling across the street. So our founder and CEO, Doug Brunke, started this organization 10 years ago this year. So you are in the right place. where are we headquartered? We are headquartered in Phoenix, Arizona, Thunderbird School of Global Management. And there's a lot of life and energy going on there, not just because we're there, but because we're located in the school and partner with the School of Global Management. And Thunderbird has locations in 30 um, places around the world. So we have connections with those locations in addition to our 525. Now, I would like to just share with you again, I was telling you at the beginning how often we meet and what we do. So every other month, we are going to have a series that really focus on authors, Global Chamber authors. And then we'll have the opposing month workshops. And our saying and our quote is to start with the end in mind. But before we finish 2025, we want to realize collaboration in book writing, leveraging marketing, integration of innovation and technology, and leadership. And of course, our visibility is very present on our WhatsApp platform. If you're not on WhatsApp and not a part of all of the forums for Global Chamber, please join. We put a lot of information there. And while we do have a strong presence on LinkedIn and also on Facebook for Global Chamber Atlanta, so that's going to fall under Atlanta because, I lead out in that one. It's easier to post. Join that. Okay. So we have opportunities for you if you are an author or soon to be a published author within Global Chamber to be a part of our program. We have our slot at the end of the year is booked, maybe something for August, but we have openings for the remaining of the year. So let us know and we'll be promoting that a little bit more. But today, boy, I'd like to introduce to you, each and every one of you, our published author, Global Chamber member of Spain Metro, Nacho Villoch. And his first name is Ignacio, and he was going on to share with us how Nacho is often referred to shorter for Ignacio. And I said, well, who doesn't like? I haven't met one person that doesn't like Nacho, so you're in the right place. And so Nacho is going to be talking to us today about innovation and storytelling. And the key components of a good writer is to be able to tell that stories and address the different various components to get your reader involved. And I want to show you here Ignacio's book. And as I mentioned, he's located in España, in Spain. So you have his book, La Aventura de Diana, over here in Spanish, and he also has it over here in English. And he's going to be talking about innovation, entrepreneurship against all odds. And then towards the end, we're going to have a breakout session and then reconvene. So you'll have opportunities to ask questions. We encourage you to do that. And on the bottom here, we'll put this in the chat where you can also purchase his book. That's how we support one another. All right. And then Nacho will be able to tell you, I'm going to stop sharing, and then his role in innovation. And then I'll have a few questions for him. Okay,
Thank
Nacho,
you.
go ahead and share.
Thank you very much, Dana, for such a warm introduction. Okay, please confirm that you are seeing my slides. Are you? Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. And thank you very much for such a warm welcome and such a warm introduction, and from promote my book.
My pleasure. Well, Ignacio, tell us about your business because it's going to really be closely linked and tied to your book and our discussion today.
Well, I am currently wearing different hats. One of those is since 2 months ago, I am the chair of the Malaga chapter of Global Chamber. I am now putting a lot of effort in making it take off and gaining some momentum. On top of that, I am running now. I am working as innovation director for the Malaga Silver Economy Hub. The silver economy is all that economy of products and services designed for, provided for, and consumed by people over 50 years. And silver is because we are already having some silver hair in our sides of the head. And this is the only growing segment demographically, and is actually today in Spain there are more people older than 50 than younger than 15, and that's happening in most Europe, which makes only a very relevant target niche. It happens the same in the States. Roughly, and the funny thing is that whoever is not silver yet is going to be silver, unless something goes very bad. So that's why we should put attention to this. I'm having for 30 years plus in the corporate hamster wheel, in the corporate enterprise, mostly in the financial industry, mostly in banking, but the last 18 years working on corporate innovation. That's why innovation has been my natural daily bread and butter. And many of the things, obviously, what was innovation in 2005, 2010, 2012 is not innovation today. What is innovation today will not be innovation 2 years down the river down. But many of the things we have learned on the attitudes, on the adventure of innovation, they still apply. And that's some of the learnings I put on these pages already 10 years ago in Diana's adventure.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So he's in Malaga, Spain, and if you don't know much about it, I certainly suggest you Google it because it is certainly a very diverse, innovative space, and it's for the silvers. And so even if our silver isn't showing, but we may have it, we can be a part of it, I hope. Thank you so
Dana,
much.
if you allow me that, 2 years ago when I moved to Malaga 2 years and a half ago, I was running the Digital Enterprise Show, and our first edition keynote speaker, illuminated speaker, was President Barack Obama, and he was very happy in Malaga.
Oh my word. Oh my word. Well, we share that in common. I got a chance to meet with him and his wife separately, but yes. So what I wanted to start off with a few questions. So we have on the
Please.
screen on your side the title of your book, Diana's Adventure, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship Against All Odds. And I think this question is evident just by you sharing with us your background and how you've come to lead this group of silvers in this economic arena in Malaga. So tell us, how did your work impact your book? And the reason I ask this is because as a writer's coach, I really encourage our aspiring entrepreneurs to write about something they're passionate about, write about something they're knowledgeable about, or that they're the level expertise. The
Well,
expertise. So
thank you.
tell us how
I
your
really,
work did this.
yes. Well, when some people has asked me how long did it take for me to write a Diana's adventure, I always say it took me 30 years and one evening. So the thing is that I have mixed, I have blended the learnings of 20 years plus dedicated to innovation and entrepreneurship and helping and mentoring many entrepreneurs in this innovative field, and my passion for sailing, for the sea. And I love sailing. I'm a scuba diving instructor. I love kayaking. I love surfing. Everything related with the ocean. So and as you can tell, even in the cover of the book, you can see there is a story of there a story of innovation. That tall ship, that sailboat is the Cathy Shark. The Cathy Shark that was an emblematic clipper that was taking wool and tea from Far East, from Hong Kong and Australia to England. And it was an amazing adventure. What happens that magnificent era of the clippers died when the small innovative steamboats appeared. And here you can see all the Cathy Shark with those fluffy sails without wind, and a very small tiny boat with powered by steam. That irrelevant innovation changed the history of sailing forever. So, and
Mhm.
that contrast, I wanted to reflect how those some apparently meaningless small changes we are seeing, new technologies, new emerging technologies, can be a disruption and can change an industry forever. And behind that, I wanted to reflect all this matrix code, all this digital revolution that is happening under us. So and is providing is multiplying, is being the catalyst of this disruption.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned your love of sailing, kayaking, the water in essence, and then this clipper being used, as I knew it as well, to transport tea. That was the main transportation to carry this most valuable product across the European and Asian world. So let's jump into one other question before you start sharing your more of your slides. The other thing is, you've already answered about how your career has influenced your desire to write this book. You already told us it's taken you 30 years plus one day to write this book. So really just taking your lifelong experience in your career. And so what I'd like to also add before we jump in and then allow the group to ask questions later is, what innovative tools did you use for your writing journey?
Well, again, that's part of what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be sharing right now because I was
Perfect.
so the way I design characters, the characters is the way the entrepreneurs do design what they call a buyer persona. I was using the social media actually, but formerly Twitter, currently X is a big part of this story. But that's part of what I'm going to be telling you in the next minutes.
Okay, it's all yours, Nacho.
Good, good. Well, storytelling. I mean, there is an author. Okay, there is a Eduardo Galeano who is from Uruguay. He said that we are not made of atoms or molecules. We are made of stories. And actually, probably storytelling is part of our DNA. Since we were those afraid cavemen in the darkness, we gather around the bonfire and we tell stories about our dreams, about how have been our day hunting for mammoths or fighting a tiger tooth, saber tooth tiger, or we were planning the next crop, or how just and the oral tradition was the way of communicating stories among cultures for many centuries. Actually, till 20th century. In the 15th century, with the invention of the print by Gutenberg, we start publishing books, but still what they was very limited. And only in the 20th century, we have started sharing by television, by radio. But before that, everything was storytelling. And actually today, most of the stuff we see on television, of the TV series, the TV shows, the movies, they are stories worth to be shared. So, see, if this is something that we have been doing forever, is something that we have been told bedtime stories before going to bed by our grandparents, and probably we are doing that to our grandchildren, our children. How can we innovate in something that is so old, is as old as human nature? Well, let's look at this story because it seems that every story already exists. Look, once upon the time there was a lonely orphan. It might be Harry Potter, it might be Batman, Luke Skywalker, Cinderella, Frodo from Lord of the Rings, Mowgli, who was friends with two social outcasts, Pumbaa and Timon, and C-3PO and R2-D2, the two mice, the Bagheera and Baloo. The trio lived happily until the evil, call it Scar or Darth Vader or the stepmother of the tiger, tried to take over the Pride Lands, the Wizard Worlds, Gotham City, the Galactic Empire, the Kingdom, Middle Earth. And thankfully, the hero defeats the villain with a Wayne, with a bat, with a laser sword, with a glass sword, and everybody live happily ever after. Look, these stories resonate, and actually there are many stories like this that go parallel and for children and for grown-ups that follow the same pattern. It's already a pattern that impact that resonates very deeply in our souls. It's called probably the father of every history, is the hero's journey that it came from Homer's Odyssey and Iliad, that Ulysses going to Ithaca, went to the Troy War, and then came back, and then you have this journey between the noun world and the noun world. For this, I mean, this structure is very well. I mean, you can do some research and you will find all the steps, all the right steps, and many movies even science fiction movies follow this plot, and it seems that every plot already exists. By the way, I'm going to be recommending you two books on top of my own books. I'm going to be recommending you two books. One is the Seven Basic Plots. This is a very interesting work that will demonstrate you how every plot we have seen it has already existed. That one or a combination of several of those, and give you have some templates, some blueprints on how all these basic plots of a comedy, tragedy, voyage and return, the quest, the rack from rags to riches, from how overcoming the monster, they're rebirthing. And this would be the 7 basic plots that exist in almost every and every movie or every story, and how the structure goes from the call, the challenge, the conflict, the growth, and the solution. But and this can help you to decide. Okay, I'm gonna go explore from the voyage and return, or I want to explore a tragedy or comedy, and this gives you a basic structure to follow your writing project. By the way, I didn't know this when I wrote that Diana's Adventure. This is something that I have found later on. So, but okay, this I was asking this question of, can we innovate in something that is as old as storytelling? And yes, we can. We can using visual thinking, using social media, and you can innovate in the promotion. And I'm going to cover these three items, and then some sideways. So uh, okay, you can see the visual thinking and the social media. Sorry, visual thinking. Look, this is a nautical chart of innovation. This is how all the project began. All the project began when a friend of mine, he's sometimes we are friends, but we also are competitors. He's a very relevant innovation consultant. He asked me support to design a roadmap towards innovation. One of his customers was asking for a roadmap towards innovation. And I started working on that. We had a co-creation brainstorming session. And after 20 minutes, I told him, Mati, you are cheating your friend. You are cheating your customer, because noun roles will never take us to unknown destinations. So if we already have a roadmap, we will never be innovation. If we have the roadmap that Steve Jobs follow, or Bill Gates, or Elon Musk, or whoever, if we have the roadmap, we might be reaching where they arrive, but that will not be innovative. We might do it faster, more efficient. We might do it better. We might improve it. But if we are following the roads, and then I told him, what your customer needs is a nautical chart. And that's my passion for sailing. A nautical chart where you have the winds of inspiration, or you have the winds of ideation, and you are in your noun territory, in your comfort zone. I call it comfortalia. And then you get into the blue ocean, that space where there are no competitors, and you might arrive to the atoll of collaboration, or the island of unexpected results, and you might go to the mutiny shores, and you will have some unknown threats. You have that area where monster exist, as the old nautical chart. They have this incognita, terra incognita, these unknown territories. They put a monster in there, and when they thought that the land was flat. So my friend told me, "Oh, come on, that's too complicated. This is not what my customer needs." I said, let me draw it. So, and I draw a very basic one. I will show you later the picture of the very basic chart. And the thing is that I was showing that chart to some of my colleagues on on uh, on on innovation business. And one guy, he told me, Nacho, this can be something very powerful. Digitize it. Make a digital copy of that, and then eventually and develop it a little bit further. So for about 8 months, I was using this chart in my lecturing, in my lessons. I am also teaching on innovation, and I was using this chart to introduce my courses, and doing some keynote speaking and some conferencing. Always getting an amazing feedback. Till one of those days, one guy told me, "Okay, I am a publisher. If you can write this, what you just told us, I will print you the book. I will publish the book." And then is when I start thinking, "Okay, good. Let's do what I." By the way, if you can see here on the right side of your screen, sorry, yes, as you can see a small compass, a small rows of windrows that has the 16 courses towards innovation. This itself, with this compass rows, I have been teaching full programs of innovation, because you have, this is the Spanish one, but as you can understand it, how from innovation you can go through ideation, inspiration, exploration, creativity, hybridization, serendipity. Two key questions: why not and what if, investigation, prototyping, implementation, exploitation, evolution, and ecosystems. Only with this you can run a master program on innovation with these 16 courses, in order not to get lost. And I've been using this as an ebook, as a separate ebook. So let's go for the characters. For the characters, because I had the territory. The territory was that map, the nautical chart, and then I needed three characters, and this was subject of certain discussion with the publisher, especially with the marketing department of the publisher, because well, it was not my original idea, but the marketing department told me, well, the people that buy more books are women. So the main character should be a woman because they are the one that read the most and they buy books for their parents, for their family, for their husband, for their boyfriends, and for their children. So think about having the main character a woman, and that's why Diana's came as a, and then and then the first draft was very much on innovation, entrepreneurship, and the marketing manager, she's a lady, she told me, why don't we create some kind of tension, of tension between the three characters? I was thinking in three major characters, and I actually talked about this is a romance novel, it's a romantic novel or enterprise novel, because I thinking it was going to be a business model. But just she told me that, well, at that time, I think it was in 2012, 2012, 2013, the major hit was Twilight, the trilogy of Twilight. You have the lady and the werewolves and the vampires, and you have Harry Potter, and we have the lady and Harry Potter and the other guy. And she told me that she talked me into that with this argument that this amorous sexual tension not resolved of the triangle might help us to engage and to put some additional spice between the lines. And well, I started exploring that idea. So I came out with these three characters, which is Diana, and actually these three characters, they represent look, let me go. Okay, well, they represent three archetypes of Diana represents the marketing. The guy with the tie is Felix, represents the business, and the young guy is represents the technology. Business, marketing, and technology, they are the three pillars of any entrepreneur project. Any new startup has needs that tripod. If those three legs are steady, the project will run. I have done the autopsy of many projects, and when one startup fails, is always because one of those legs has failed, either the marketing, either the technology, or either the business. So these three characters were like the avatars of this business, marketing, and technology. Plus, they were representing the past, the present, and the future. The young guy represents the future. The technology is the future. The business model is the past, represents an old way, the old-fashioned way of doing things, and future and past meets in the present, which is that creates that time flow of visions from the past, visions for the future, and how they met in the present, and they are both of them somehow competing for the love or for the attention of Diana of the present. So something what I did when designing the characters, from day one, when I started writing the first page, the first line of the first page, I opened their Twitter accounts of these three characters. So every dialogue they were having on the pages of the book, it had happened before on Twitter, and everything they were seeing, that image, that was a picture, it was in their respective profiles. The and something that I did that helped me a lot. So this becomes very interesting later on in the promotion, because as a matter of fact, Diana Innovadora, she was invited to some gatherings and to some events and some book presentation, and she actually at that time she got like about 1,000 followers, something like that, which was quite interesting. And I opened the respective Spotify accounts, and you can still find those. There is a Spotify account for a young guy, for a Jago, for people in the 20s with Lady Gaga and some rap and so on. There is an old-fashioned jazz Spotify list for Felix, which is more people for music for people in the 50s, for the silver economy, 50s and 70s and 60s, and a more stern, relaxed in music from the 80s and 70s and 90s for Diana. It's very interesting thing how your brain behaves when you tune up, when you pay attention to the music of the different profiles, how you start feeling like them, how you empathize. Music connects your brain at a very different level of that language of verbalization. So, but at this point, let's leave it like this: three characters. There are three archetypes of future, past, and present with their respective Spotify accounts and Twitter accounts. The Diana's Adventure, they were printed three editions, but then we realized that because it was an enterprise business novel, that suddenly it's rapidly got the attention of several companies, and then we allowed for a certain level of branded content of customization. We could customize the cover this was for a company, and the agreement was if they buy 200 or 300 books, we could do a special cover for them, and some of them did. So, and usually that become an event, and they invite me, and I sign the books, and I dedicate them, and I give them a speech, a corporate speech, or a workshop. So, but they were taking this as a takeout of the workshop. And there were 5 companies were pushing for this. Actually, one of the companies wanted to go further and to make some adaptations that today digital printing allows that quite easily. If you can that even change, you can even change the name of one character, or you can change some situations that make the CEO being part of the history. Of course, you can write a specific forward, a specific introduction or apology, but even you can quite easily customize some paragraphs or introduce a new character who is, for instance, the founder of the company. And actually, they are going to be. I mean, this is the ego business. They are going to be very flattered, and they're going to be very, very, very proud of being part of the book. And well, but provided they pay for the efforts. I mean, they pay. There is a return on that investment. Furthermore, the Diana's Adventure, I developed an academic pack, because I had the chart, the nautical chart that printed in big sizes. It can be very, very impressive, and it can be a product by itself. And because there were 50, 60 learnings embedded in the history, in those metaphors, and some of those were obvious, other ones not so much. I was trying to evangelizing to get innovation, entrepreneurship as a skill to be taught at the schools. I do believe that people need more, that the society, the world needs more innovation and more entrepreneurship. At that time, I developed the student workbook and the teacher guide, which you can see is usually in the workbook. When there is like 40 different exercises that the student is supposed to do, and when reading the book can get the answers. Obviously, the teacher guide has all the replies, all the answers, so he can go. The teacher can go a little bit further with all these resources. This did not work. So the book worked very well. This did not work. On innovation, there is no failing. There are unexpected results. This was an unexpected, disappointing result, because it was very difficult to get into the school system. Both the public school system say, well, it was not approved, and it has to go through and especially in Spain, that we are you in the States, you are 51 states, 50 states in the contiguous states. But with a federal structure here in Spain, we are 17 different autonomous regions. But some of those autonomous regions, they have a different language, and there are several very nationalistic movements. Anyway, it was very complicated. It was very much politicized. I tried in several private boarding schools. They like it, but they thought that some of the parents thought that the idea of that triangle between the old guy and the young lady, it was too complicated for the teenagers, and probably it was not intended for them. So this didn't work. But let's go for the things that work. This is being an author makes you an authority. I mean, it's not playing with words. Actually, authority comes from the same root of authority. And this poster was was March 18, 2015. I was invited to the Canary Islands. I was running workshops in many places, and it was really quite successful. Always running on Diana's Adventure, and expansion and expansion and employment selected Diana's Adventure as one of the 10 books to help you to give a twist to your career, to reinvent your professional career. And it was really quite. It made some waves in the swimming pool at that time. So you can see this is the initial chart. This is the making of. This is the initial nautical chart, the one I was using for it was that was the design drawn by hand, and then later it was digitalized to make it more efficient. But the basic idea was already here, and those and still with those four 40, 50 learnings on innovation and entrepreneurship. This nautical chart, I was marketing it independently, and I still get some requests of having said, I don't mind if you want, I can facilitate to done a high resolution copy and in English, and if you want it, it's a beautiful piece of art that if you are inspired towards innovation to have this. There is a small black and white version in the book because it helps you to navigate through the story. But if you're interested, I can provide you with a printable PDF file that you can print locally. And for me, I'm not in that business any longer. So but I like spreading this message. And again, going to the characters, you can see you have a Jago. He's a 20 years old guy. Diana, that represents the marketing and business. And what I did is when designing these characters, I use this technique called buyer persona. This is a design thinking tool that today many entrepreneurs use to say who is my. We are not talking anymore about having a target niche or having a target collective, because individualism is so powerful. So you have to really think who is your buyer, and say, okay, and what does she eat for breakfast? What is her daily routine? At what time she wakes up? At what time what are her hobbies? Does she have a cat? Or does she have a dog? Does she go jogging or does she go swimming? What kind of perfume or eau de toilette is she using? What kind of is she wearing a formal? Is she wearing a blouse, or is she wearing a t-shirt? Is she wearing a jacket, or is she wearing is it a skirt or trousers? And when you start designing, you can get a very consistent character, a very believable character. Although I didn't want to get and this was some kind of balance, because I wanted to build an archetype that anybody can identify. Because if you say she's uh, Asian, or she's color, or she's African American, or she's ginger, or she's brunette, I say, well, I am blondie. I don't. It doesn't fit myself. So if you lift that, that's why I am using these cutout silhouettes. So do not get. I don't care if she's blonde, brunette, or ginger. That's not relevant for the story. But it's relevant to know if she's a vegan, a vegetarian, or she eats red meat. That's relevant. If she's driving a hybrid car, or a truck, or a cyber truck, that will be relevant, because it reflects certain values of self-awareness, of consumption, responsiveness, of sustainability-driven decisions. So having that kind of profile, both for the three characters, really help you. And I end up with a profile that it's looking what it has been done by the FBI, with every single detail of their lives, which school they have gone through, which has been her previous jobs, her previous track record. So if you combine all that deep knowledge with the music she likes, and I was actually, when I was designing the character, I was listening their respective Spotify list. That will give you a very consistent character. And I think that these are some tools that we have already very handy. So, and those are the respective Twitter accounts that I haven't been using it for quite a long. I lost the keywords to access, so I cannot access to these accounts. If you can see them, that all the what it was written 10 years ago, or a little bit later, but I cannot access to those accounts anymore. See, when they shift from Twitter to X, I lost the access to these accounts, and Elon Musk doesn't help me a lot. So uh, I well, this is the typical structure of the 14 different, before I start writing, I have a basic, because I wanted to reflect all these challenges on all the learnings they were going to be in every chapter. So I have this framework, a framework of in which chapter, which this has the typical flow of an innovation project or entrepreneurial project. So which were the key things that must appear in every character. And this really was very helpful. So in the first chapter, and you have the typical structure of exposition, not, and I don't know how to say it in English, the exposición, nudo and desenlace, the introduction, the not, and the solution. So in this is a way of structuring the progress, and make sure that you are not forgetting anything, you are not leaving anything behind. And this is work on an Excel spreadsheet or on a PowerPoint, but very easy. They are very easy to move and to adjust and to fix and to make and actually, before I got into actual writing, I show this basically schedule. This is the skeleton to other some colleagues of innovation, and say, am I missing something? Am I missing something really relevant? And because, I mean, you don't want to notice that you have forgotten something, when the book is already on the bookstores. About promotion. This is the day I presented the book, and I did it in the National Geographic Society, because since this book is about, is a map, is a, well, you can say I am much younger, 12 years ago. Um, since this it was a nautical chart, it was an adventure, it was about sailing, about uncharted waters, about discovery islands, and so on. I thought that the National Geographic Society was relevant, and I invited 50 people, 50 people that were, most of them were good friends of mine, were the people that have supported me well during the project, the people that I had been showing them the nautical chart, and they have encouraged me to write it, and they have given some ideas, or they have validated the ideas. And I took somehow, well, it was not a very business-oriented decision, but it worked very well. So to all of them, I give them the book. I was not selling the book. I convinced the publisher, say, we are going to give away 50 books, 50 issues, 50 samples. So I mean, you can discount it from my royalties, or from my authors, or from my rights. So, but I want to give them away, because as a token of appreciation, a token of appreciation of being here, of coming to this celebration, and for being my friends. But I am giving this away you for free. Some of them will say, no, you have to pay, you have to buy, you cannot. It's not a present. We want to buy it. Say, no. I am giving it to you, but I want you to read it. I want you to give me feedback. I want you to put 5 stars in Amazon if you like it, and if you don't like it, put 4 stars. And please, wherever you go, wherever you travel, because this was on, actually, it was July the 4th. So whenever this is at the beginning of summer, go there, take this book on holidays, when you are wherever you are going, and send me a picture of where you are. And that summer I was getting pictures and pictures and pictures of Diana's adventure in many places. And well, this was another gathering of with all they were using the nautical chart, the map, and they were traveling with the book, and I got 60, 70. And then, because many people were sending several pictures, probably over 100 pictures of Diana's adventure everywhere, in the beach, in a boat, in a plane, with they give it to their grandparents. I was that pictures, and I upload them to so on Pinterest and on Facebook. They have an album in Facebook of Diana around the world. This is funny, because the magic algorithm of the social media and Google, they start identifying Diana's adventure, and for the few years after, and I'm talking about not years, not months. If you put Diana's adventure, this will come out. The first 3 pages of Google were about these pictures and this social media content generated by users. Before this book, if you put Diana's adventure, it will be Diana of Wales, having all the love affairs of Diana, Princess of Wales, the that and it was I was not intending that, but how Diana displays, how Diana's Adventure, my book, displays, replace, substitute all those Prince Diana's stories. Anyway, since the formula worked very well, the publisher told me, okay, why don't we go? Okay, there are three topics that companies like very much, that are very interested. Three topics that every company talks about it, but very few practices, which are innovation, talent, and sustainability. And since we have three characters, we say, okay, yeah, and the three characters have been already created and they have their social media accounts. Why don't we go for a trilogy, like the Lord of the Rings or the Star Wars and the Twilight or whatever? Say, well, why not? Why not? And this was the first one. Well, okay, this was Diana about innovation, Jago about talent, and Felix about sustainability. Again, follow the same formula, having a roadmap, having a nautical chart, having a visual thinking with the three characters, interacting, and so on. So this is what the strategy was: ITS, innovation, talent, and sustainability, with business 4.0 as a strategy on contents, formats, learnings, and for those excellent brands. This was the idea. And 2 years later, we had the first spin-off, which was Jago's Challenge. This was not translated into English, but because it remained only in Spanish. We went for two corporate editions, one single edition. This is easier to read, is shorter because people say that Diana's Adventure is 340 pages, and they told us that 300 pages are too much and was something for something lighter. Instead of 40, 50 learnings, there are only like 20 language, 20 different learnings. You have this instead of a nautical chart, this is a map to get into living from Talentburg, the city of the talent, and going upstream the river of talent, and going beyond the dam of social media and getting into the sources of talent. And again with some learnings and some considerations, some mystery, and it worked pretty well. Not as well as Diana's Adventure, but it still gives me a lot of satisfaction. And that make me an author in talent. I was already an authority on innovation. I was an authority on talent.
Yes. We've got
The
two
the third
minutes
one,
left, Nacho.
yeah,
We have
yeah,
two
yeah,
minutes.
I'm about to finish. The third one, the sustainability one, that didn't happen. This publisher went chapter 11 during the COVID and during the pandemic, and I got into other projects. So the third one, the closest the trilogy, is still pending to be written. Depending on how busy I am, probably I will do it this year or the next one, and I probably will self-publish it myself because I just want to have the trilogy completed. But after Jago's Adventure, I have got for another book. This was with another co-author. Again, being an author makes you an authority. This is a short story of the future, and this book got me into the Forbes list of the top 40 top 40 futurists of Spain. Again, being an author makes you an authority, and this is all about, again, it's about stories from the past and stories from the future in different chapters. So storytelling can be neuroscience. Tell us how powerful it is in our brains, and how can affect the way we perceive reality, and the way, as I said at the beginning, storytelling is part of our DNA, and stories that resonate will help us to engage very, very deeply with that. So this is the last one. Become an ape. Become an ape means your authority. This is a very interesting book. As I told you, I was recommending two books: the 7 basic plots and an ape, how to publish a book. Author, publisher, entrepreneur. This is by Guy Kawasaki. If you don't know Guy Kawasaki, he was marketing manager at Apple, and he's a Hawaiian guy, and a Japanese Hawaiian guy, very, very funny and very amusing and very, very smart. So uh, become an ape and go bananas writing your own book. And this is all. So I'm gonna left. Should I keep this? Should I leave this, Dana, or I
Yes,
take it?
por favor, because I typed the other one in there.
Okay.
I typed that one in there, so that would be great. First of all, we just have to give you a round of applause because this has been incredible. I almost think another session would be in order, but we were going to do a breakout, but I think if we do that, we'll lose the opportunity to ask question of our authority in the room here, Nacho. So thank you, first of all. We are just incredibly grateful for bringing the innovative approach. And one thing that I was able to grasp, many things, but is that this book evolved. It had a life of its own, and it became a trilogy. So I like that strategy in terms of marketing. And you also talked about the archetypes and how you came up with your three main characters, which is something that, when I'm coaching my writers, I'm like, let's flush out your characters. They should be able to recognize them, know where they eat, they drink, they drive, just like you said. And Dr. Pauline Crawford talks about archetypes and Globinars, the Global Chamber, in her book as well. So I'm going to open the floor for questions. And Pauline, if you wanted to kick it off since I called your name, you can. And if you care to put questions in the chat, we'll go ahead and read those if you don't want to necessarily verbally ask.
I wanted to remember again what APE was. Authority.
The book by Kawasaki and Welch. APE. Does the APE stand for what? Authority and what else?
It's author, publisher, editor. Or no, okay. Author, publisher, entrepreneur. Author, publisher, entrepreneur.
Okay.
Author, publisher, entrepreneur.
Correct.
Author.
We'll give you some hints about how to direct, how to self-publish today. Today, self-publishing is easier than ever before with thanks to Amazon, but still probably you will need some entrepreneurial skills to promote, to market, to design, to find solutions to replace what usually publishing house will do for you if you get a third-party publisher.
Absolutely. Our first person to kind of sign on before we actually got started with none other than Miss Ruby Golo, who is the executive director for Global Chamber Accra, Ghana. So I'm going to just throw it your way because I see you put in the comments that you would like to write a book. And of course, that excites me and all of us here in this room. So why don't you go ahead and present your question, and anyone else who'd like to follow Miss Ruby, feel free to do that.
I actually don't have a question now, but I'll think about something.
Okay, no worries. Anyone else that'd like to present a question to Nacho? And Yuka, thank you for just helping me to recognize how big of a deal he is. Anyone else with a question or comment?
Don't be shy. If breaking this is complicated, you can always get me through LinkedIn, and I will be happy to have this conversation offline. But Rhonda, please.
I just wanted to ask, in LinkedIn, are you Nacho or Ignacio?
First, it's Ignacio between brackets Nacho. So you can ask either if you put Nacho Villoch or Ignacio Villoch. If you put Nacho Villoch, you will find me. There is another Ignacio Villoch in Uruguay, but if you see Ignacio Nacho Villoch from Spain, that's me.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. And Malaga is the most beautiful place. Great that you're there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, ladies.
It's on my list.
I think I have a question now.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Ruby.
Yeah, I think in your slides, I saw the mind map. You use the mind map. So for somebody who is a new writer, how can I use that tool effectively?
Okay. Mind maps is a creative tool. Mind mapping is a creative tool, very, very useful. And you can use it in many things. It will help you to connect things not linearly. Usually when we are reading, we're trying to subject, verb, when we follow this linear thinking. And mind mapping might help you to connect things that are usually not connected at first sight. And if you put the way I do it, there are many ways of doing that. Actually, there are one called the fish spines, where you put the head of the fish at the beginning, and then you put the fish bone, all the different bones, and you have the tail, and those bones can have all. But when that happens, when all the ideas are pointing in one direction, you can make a more whatever concept it takes. And I do mind mapping just for fun. When I have 10 minutes spare or half of 15 minutes, instead of jumping into the infinite scroll of Instagram, you get a white sheet of paper, you take a book, and then you put a word in the middle, just a word, I put the circle, and then connect it with five different words that somehow are connected to that. And it can be, I mean, even you put water in the middle. Okay, water. Water is connected with fire, but it's the opposite. But water extinguishes fire. What is connected to life? Water is connected to health. What is connected to the ocean? Water is connected to rain. Like, wow, so many different. And then okay, and fire is connected to volcanoes, and fire is connected to this to Los Angeles, and the ocean is connected to the whales, and the rain is connected to an umbrella, and the life is connected to sport and fitness. And then you go, and then suddenly fitness is connected with volcanoes, and it's connected with whales, and it's connected. So this kind of thinking is very much how our own neurons are connected. And when you let it flow, instead of thinking the water is H2O and it happens in can be frozen, or can be in the clouds, or can be in snow. No, don't think linearly. Just start connecting, and then when you connect all the outside of the ring, and you can go 2, 3, 4 different fractals, you can really have this very, very creative tool, connect things that apparently are not connected, um, but at the end there is an obvious root that might be some. And the funny thing, also the interesting thing of a mind map, is that anytime you do one, every time is different. Every time you do one, every time is different, because depending on your mood, depending on your background, depending on the different connections you can have, you are going to have different randomly connections. But that's the magic of creativity.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Ruby. I have a comment here from Chrissy Watson, former educator here, and love that the most elementary skills are what you use creation. That is mind mapping, schema development, and there's more. Thank you for that comment, Chrissy. We'll take one more question or comment, because when you're having fun, time just takes off, and we have learned so much today. Okay, one more comment or question, anyone? Yes, he does have great energy. I also put in the chat my affiliate link for our writing, one of the best writing platforms that we use in coaching our entrepreneurs. And so we do take that component from the APE, Authors and Entrepreneurs, and that's what we produce in 90 days. So if you want a platform that's really easy to use to get your book out, and it outlines it for you, I put that in there as a to make it easy. One more comment or question? Okay, you know what? We have our Vice President, Cesar Trabanco, who's in Puerto Rico, who would give our closing remarks to our audience and to each of you. And if you have not joined Global Chamber, please come on board. You can see we do this. We had over 700 Globinars and meetups last year for entrepreneurs, CEOs, business owners, dignitaries. We are one of the best kept secrets that I don't think should not be a secret anymore. Cesar?
Hi, Dana. Thank you very much for hosting this session, and thank you, Nacho, for the insightful information. It's been great, and it's been awesome working with you. I actually got an idea for you, Nacho, and follow up on that. And the book authors is a group that really surprised us when it first started with Gloria, because when Gloria came up with the idea, we couldn't think, how many members we got that are writers, and then boom, that list started to pile up, and we got a really good sessions with Gloria, and now with Dana, and it's like very industry agnostic, like before you will think there may be some business books or some even fiction, but I mean, we got people now. We got storytelling and innovation with Nacho, and so we got members covering all areas, and it's very interesting. And it seems to be a really good journey that I'm still interested to take, Dana, and hopefully one day I will be speaking here with my book.
You will. You
thanks
will.
again. Well, thanks again,
Okay.
everyone. And tomorrow we have today is a big event in Phoenix in our headquarters. It's a semiconductor summit. It's gonna be accessible via Zoom for members. So if you haven't registered feel free to go there and register for it. It's gonna last like 4 or 5 hours, but I mean, you can jump in off if you want. And this really key event for us. And then tomorrow, Thursday, and on Friday, we have the League of Opportunities Part 1 and Part 2. So again, you're more than welcome to join us and explore and connect with fellow members. And that's it. Thank you, Dana, and thanks again, Nacho. Have a great one, everyone.
Thank you, Cesar. I will say this last comment. If you're not a member of Global Chamber, you were invited here as a guest. However, in the future, there'll be a fee for non-members. So just join because it's less than a Starbucks a day. Promise you that. Have a great one. Nacho, we'll talk afterwards. Gracias para todo.
Thank you.